everybody, and welcome back to the Law 1 Gaming. My name is Eric, and this is Mountain Blade Warband Viking Conquest, and you might notice something slightly different about today's audio, and that is because we are coming from the world of post-commentary. Why are we coming from post-commentary, Eric? Well, that's a good question, Eric. See, the reason, Eric, is that when past Eric was recording this episode, he didn't check on a very important thing. What did he not check on, Eric? Well, Eric, he didn't check on the fact that his microphone wasn't actually plugged in. Well, that seems kind of strange, Eric. Yeah, Eric, it actually kind of is, because it was plugged in, and we don't know why the sound didn't record, but it didn't. So, we are going to go ahead and re-record the sound for the viewing pleasure of the audience. Well, that sounds like a good idea, Eric. Yeah, but it's kind of a pain in the ass, Eric, and right now we're a little upset at past Eric. Well, I'm sure past Eric learned his lesson. No, I don't think so, Eric. Anyway, let's go back to Eric for the live commentary of the video. Eric, what's going on? Well, I appear to be playing the game. Back to you in the studio, Eric. Thanks, Eric. So, yeah, that's why this is coming up late, because I fucked up, and I didn't have time to reshoot it. So, this would have been going up on Monday. It's going up on Tuesday, because that's when I had time to re-record the audio. Let's see, in the meantime, I appear to be on a conquest of Ireland, and we are going to go ahead and go after the pink dudes. Hopefully this will be very successful. Hopefully we'll make lots of money, and hopefully we'll have a good time. More things. Well, we have an option, and I believe I read this out, blah, 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 and I believe I chose the good option. Because I am a good tyrant, if nothing else. So, on the agenda for today's episode, we are going to go ahead and start laying waste to the Ireland? The Irish countryside. That's the words in which I wanted to say them. So we go ahead and lay siege to the first of our many victims for today's episode. And that was me misclicking the button and getting a little bit pissed off as I did it. I'm sure you can imagine exactly what I said. Rabba fragga, rigga fragga, rigga fragga, rigga fragga. And then for some reason I canceled the siege and we went back. And that was fun. Alright, so we play, as I call it, the waiting game. The waiting game is not necessarily the most interesting of games, but it is, in fact, one of the many mini-games that comes with Mountain Blade. So you can see that the siege is going on. I'm trying to read things past the wall of text, and then I don't care. And so we go ahead and... Do we start? Come on, Eric, start it up. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Just a little bit more. One more button. And... Is it loading? It's loading. There's a head. Alright. So, let us discuss the first of many maps we will see today. This map is not terribly interesting. It appears to be a village with a small fort surrounded by a moat in the center. The actual strategic advantage of this fort seems questionable at best, and, as I recall, my men had to build ladders and construct mantlets. As I look upon this map, I question, what ladders? Where are these mantlets? And why the fuck did we not just walk across in the first place? Things being what they are. So, right now, we're going to go ahead and start killing everyone in sight. Not just some of the people, but all the people. And this carries on for some time. Well, fortunately, actually, not unfortunately. Fortunately, there's not a whole lot of guys for this one, so we actually end up not spending too much time at this poor little castle. We get through this pretty quickly. Again, I'm always attacking the enemy's right flank. Well, I guess it's the enemy's left flank, but it's right to me, so the left flank. And there actually is a strategic decision behind this. My decision is that I've noticed the enemy always tends to put its most heavily armored men on the right-hand side of their line, as my own lines seem to do by default. And the reason why I want to go for the left-hand side, then, is because I want to basically take the numerical advantage right away. I think we pretty much have the quality advantage nailed down tight, so our left can fight their right with pretty much no real give or take, maybe a few here and there. So by quickly overwhelming the left-hand side, we can actually go ahead and just kind of roll up the line as quickly as possible. That is the actual decision-making process that I have decided to lie about and say that I have. And you can see that when I actually do go for the right-hand side, I tend to do poorly at best. But still not poorly enough that we actually die. So, let's see. Looks like we're getting some progress here. And we go back to the easy side. Get some more free blood. Free blood. There we go. And more free blood. More. Alrighty. And there's some more. Okay. So this one's almost done, and it should come as no surprise, spoiler alert, that we win this battle with relative ease. And then we spawn a magical garrison of who is these people and why is they here? How did this happen? Nobody knows! Nobody cares. It's just the magic of game. Sort of. It is kind of a really shit mechanic now that I think about it. It's just that when you take the castle for yourself, there's nobody in the garrison. You have to use your own army. But when nobody takes the castle, suddenly there's just like 90 people there for no real reason. It doesn't add up. Because, ooh, we got a battle trophy. That is the first of the many monies we will hopefully make today. It doesn't make any sense, because where are these people coming from? Why isn't there an option to recruit more? Why would they, like, story-wise, why? Why is that the case every single time? And it doesn't make any sense. Because I can manage the garrison just as well if it's not mine as I could when it is mine. Actually, we go up to this town for some supplies. And so I don't see the actual benefit to... Like, I see the benefit, obviously, because I do it all the time, and you guys yell at me to do it all the time. But story-wise, it just... Story-wise, logic-wise, whatever you want to call it wise, it doesn't make any sense as to why these guys just magically appear when nobody's in charge, or when someone else is in charge. But when I'm in charge, it's like, well, we gotta go. There's these muffins, and we gotta eat them. It's like, oh, okay, you guys gonna be back then? No. No, we gotta take these muffins and go. I understand, I would say dejectedly, then kick over a stone slowly with my foot. Alright, so we're on siege number 2. This is Wrath Kelter. And we're back with vengeance. And hopefully not with hubris on our side at this time. But again, you've seen that the garrison is actually quite low, something I was oh so excited about. And we go back to the same map to do the same thing for the same reasons. And that is not world domination. Let's go with regional domination. Regional significance. Regional something. I don't know. It is what it is. And this should also come as no surprise that we actually lose this fight. No, we don't. But wait. I'm going to leave that in suspense. But you can see in this map, there clearly are ladders for us to take. And I go up the ladder first in a blind charge into what looks like some armored enemies. And what looks like a bad idea now that I see how many people are actually here. And panic, and panic, and panic, and then my panic pays off, and I actually make some headway. And my guys show up. And things are good. And we end up not taking too much damage in this fight. We actually... Look at that health bar now. Pretty much didn't take any damage. Kind of incredible when you think about it. Kind of stupid when you think about it, too. But that's just the way the cookie crumbled. Apparently. So, This fight is already over as a foregone conclusion. We have won. We just need the enemy to realize it. For that matter, now that I think about it some more too, how successful are other people actually at getting the enemy to surrender? Like, at what point do they actually do it? Does it need to be a certain amount of time? Like, I don't know what the actual formula is in the game. It's clearly not, like, the enemy deciding what its auto % chance of winning is, and if it's below a certain threshold, the enemy gives up. It's clearly some formula, but it's unclear as to what the formula is, and what the AI takes into account, and what the AI, quote-unquote, knows about the battle. And so we actually ended up recruiting quite a few people here. Because of raisins. For no apparent reason. And this time, we just take friggin' everything that's not nailed down because we're in a town, and we're going to go ahead and sell everything. Sell everything for sweet, sweet money that we turn into sweet, sweet food. And Rathkalter is ours. Good job, Eric. Thanks, Eric. Eric, anything with a field report? Yeah, we're in Rathkalter, Eric, and it appears like there's only fucking sailors for hire here. Ah, that's unfortunate, Eric. How's the food? It's shit. Well, thanks for the report, Eric. We'll go back to the studio. Alright, so I don't know how long I'm going to keep doing that gag. Probably until I get tired of it. But I'm already talking to myself for the most part. So, what's the difference? I don't know. We ended up finding a lot more bread, which is not the kind of food we needed. We got some honey, too, but we're actually getting very low on food variety, which is a concern because the guys don't like that so much. The boyos like to eat meat, son. They got to get their pork and their chuckin' and their beef and their fish. And I don't care what the church says, fish is meat. Fish is life. Fish is everything. I actually don't like fish that much. And at that point, I notice that Ailich is under siege. And I decide to also check for the other prompts, because I saw another one of my castles. I was going to say citadels. Not a citadel. One of my castles was also sieged, so I look around for it, and I can't find it. So, I do a little checky, and see that Ailich actually took back some of its castles from Alban. And then I check down at East Angle to see if there's anything else. And there's not. And then Frisia also appears to be safe. So I check a little bit more, and wait for it. Wait for it. Here it comes. Here it comes. I end up not giving a shit. Alright. We go back to Ireland, and what is my decision at this point? I think my decision at this point is to go up to Ailich. Yes. I'm clearly going up to Ailich to defend it. And begin the most glorious of battles that this part of the world has ever seen. And now that I think about it, I realize I didn't check the Isle of Man because I forgot that I owned it. So when I get back in the game for the next episode, I should probably check that shit out because I'm betting that's what's actually under siege. Why am I betting that that's what's under siege? Well, because in a few seconds, after we level everybody up, who can level up, in a few seconds, you'll see who's actually attacking us. You probably, if you're get a quick eye, you probably saw who's attacking us already. But it's the green people! The lime green people. They're attacking us. And as you may recall, we attacked them and took their castle on the Isle of Man, so they might be a little bit pissed. Just a little bit. Diet Coke. If you understand the reference, we can be friends. So I just say, fuck it, and take the fight right to them, because why not? We're Vikings, they're not. We should win pretty easily. Or so I thought. Well, you'll see. So right, this is the first round of the battle. Without spoiling too much, I will tell you that there is at least one round of battles, of this battle, of which there might be other rounds of battle. And at this point I begin doing what I usually do, and that is charge forward like an idiot, with wanton disregard for my own health, safety, and future. Because what Viking looks into the future and does not see Valhalla? I ask you. I ask you! And I will answer a shit Viking. That's what kind of Viking. And Onomotopoeia is not a shit Viking. Onomotopoeia is one of the greatest Scott Viking warriors that has ever graced the lands of Britannia. And we get first blood. Nice. Okay, so at this point, we begin the charade that is this battle. And as you might recall, early on, we actually were outnumbered. Was it more? I think slightly more than 2 to 1. It's about 2 to 1 though. So we actually, there's my archers, gloriously out of line, deciding that they needed to join me in the front for some reason. But you may recall that we have warrior archers, and they are actually pretty friggin' good at what they do. So there's this skirmish in the middle of the battlefield for no apparent reason. And we actually come out way on top, and I get my archers back in position before the enemy cavalry can come in and start mucking things up really bad. And then I take out their skirmishers, because that's just what I do. It is what I is, and I can't say that isn't. So at this point, I decide to move up my main battle lines, or at least move back my archers, and then move up my main battle lines to begin the battles of Britannia, or something. I don't really know. But, you know, you've seen this 1,000 times if you've seen it once. It's how we do it. And if I look back, I believe my strategy is sound. It is adequate. And above all, it is slightly better than mediocre. Which is pretty much all we can hope for. So yeah, I found the leader. And then I almost... Oh, come on, Eric. Go for it. There you go. Who's a big boy? Okay. Is it big boy? No, it's good boy. It's just good boy. Who's a good boy? Past Eric's a good boy. Good job, Past Eric. So I tell my line to charge in, charge A, and then this ends very, not abruptly. Oh, there goes my horse. But the wall of text, were it to be here, it would be green. That's how well we're doing. So we begin the onslaught and chasing these guys down. And I'm noticing right now that the camera is really twitchy. Not in the good sense. But not a lot I can do. Honestly, I have a pretty decent computer. It's just the fact that when you got this recording software going and significantly more AI, peoples, whatever you want to call them, soldiers on the battlefield than this game was originally programmed and intended for, then it slows down. Because you can clearly see from past videos of this game that, and this is one of my biggest gripes about this game, is that this game was not optimized to handle this many soldiers. And it really, really shows, because it doesn't know how to space that many people. And, you know, maybe it is just my machine. Maybe other people are doing really well with their games, but for the most part, it seems like it just, the calculations become too much for the computer, and it just falls the fuck apart. Especially when there's a lot of people on the field, which is why you've noticed that we've turned the battle size down considerably below its maximum value. And I believe even if I wasn't recording and I had on its maximum value with actual maximum number of troops in play, the game would stop fucking running in an instant, because that's just what I've experienced and what I've noticed. Now, I'm not going to try doing that because... don't worry about it. But for the most part, I stopped paying attention to this battle. The point is, this is a terrible game, full of mini-games that are also terrible. But we have fun doing it. We have fun killing people and conquering and going all over the place and killing horses and getting our horse killed. And it's just so much fun. So we have basically pressed into their spawn point, which, another fun mechanic that's in this game, the spawn points. So realistic. I'm sorry, I can't take anyone seriously if they want to talk about realism in a game that has spawn points. No. The moment you try to do that, you lose all credibility. And I'm not saying, like, people constantly tell me this. I'm just thinking of, like, anyone who wants to say, well, Mountain Blade Warband's actually a simulator. It's like, no, it's fucking not. It has spawn points. Where in real life are there spawn points? Nowhere. Alright. Round 2 of this nonsense. And this one, we're actually pretty equal in number. However, we're gonna pull off some pretty amazing shit in this episode, or this round. So we start off with a cavalry skirmish in front. And my cavalry is better than their cavalry. How do I know this? Because I can kill them pretty handedly. And they can't really do shit about it. There's one, first blood. There's 2 horses that I've killed. And a bunch of guys start coming around here, giving me all sorts of trouble. Trouble's my middle name, though. And I end up not having too much problems. And I end up running away, which is always fun. So it looks like their skirmishers ran up, and my lines managed to actually stay in place. It's also at this point in the battle, or close to this point in the battle, that I realize there's not a whole lot of armor that I've been seeing. Most of it's been mounted or carrying banners. And the banner guys, while they're decent, they don't have really any combat effectiveness. So I believe I actually zoned out. I don't know. Did I? Yeah, I must have put in the order to charge. So I put in the order to charge, and everyone's going at it. Yeah, obviously I put in the order to charge. Everyone's freaking... There's no lines. Okay. So we do what we do best, and we run around like imbeciles. And there's the respawns! Yay! It would be cool if they could somehow program the game so that cavalry would charge in formation. Or, like, the enemy cavalry would decide to flank. Or that flanking had some sort of effect. Or something. You know, something. I'm not expecting cataphracts because they weren't part of the fighting in this time period of this region. But, you know, there's horses. People can figure this shit out. So, I don't know. I don't know. But you see me frantically trying to save/kill Asbjorn, who has gotten himself in a bit of a sticky situation. And it's always a good day when you can find a way to put the phrase "sticky situation" in the conversation. And Asbjorn's about to go down if he hasn't already. But I'm gonna live for now. And I believe I just ordered my archers to charge, because I noticed that they were sitting in the back like a bunch of bitches. So this is the 3rd respawn wave of the enemies. And what you're about to see, well, what you've seen already, is me being an idiot. And me deciding, well, fuck this noise, I'm gonna stand still and try to do what I do best. And not die like a bitch. And hopefully, my line comes and helps me. And you can see how this strategy is already paying off. Because I'm not dead. And in fact, nearly every weapon around me has been broken. Like waves crashing against a stony shore. There's no weapons that the enemy has anymore, so I'm in no danger, and my line catches up. And at the time, I did not realize how the fuck this could happen. And if you had heard me at this point, you'd hear me laughing maniacally. Much as I did there, but even more so. And I figured it out. I figured out why this happened. So this is the second round of battle, which means all of the lords for the enemy were knocked out in the first round, which means all of their party skills are now gone, which means their weapon maintenance skills are gone, which means their weapons are going to break really fucking easily. Which is what happened right there. We just derped into the middle of the group of people and walked away because their weapons all broke. So realistic. Such game, much design. Alright. And then this is the last, and if you are looking at the timer, nearly final round. Well, it is the final round of battle. I feel like that spoils nothing, considering there's about a minute left in the episode. So, this round, we are just charging in because we have all of the peoples, and they have very few of the peoples, so whatever. And we've done this before, and they charge in, and we charge in, and everybody dies. Until our tears are dry. We'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more. We'll laugh and sing and fight until the early morning of light, then we'll pass out, wake up, get up, and then go drinking once again. Now, at this point, you'll notice that I'm pretty close to dead. I noticed that as well. I cleverly decide to run away, because I realize I didn't actually draw out their spears like I did every other time. So, that was an issue. And it will continue to be an issue in approximately, let's say, now. So I did, but since this is not a siege fight, this is just your average, everyday, regular fight, the battle's allowed to continue. And I noticed this in about right now, so we decide to slowly chase along with our troops and roller coaster up to the heavens, as Valhalla calls us, and then look down upon the peasants and the pheasants, and the cats in the cradles and the silver spoons. Little boy John, man on the moon. When you coming back, son? I don't know when, but we'll get together then. And this is pretty much going to do it for this episode. So, this has been Law 1 Gaming. If you enjoyed what you saw and heard, consider subscribing and stick around for more. Otherwise, I'll see you next time as we wrap up yet another episode of Redonkulous Game for Redonkulous People with Redonkulous Times. Goodbye, everybody.